Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the stream. I'm Jayhem, and this is Mike Wilson.
Hi, guys.
And this is Rick Stults.
Hello.
Mike, what do you do with Devolver?
That is a question that I hope you ask everybody here.
Yep.
Because I am curious to find out. What do? I don't know. I think I was one of the guys that started the company with Rick, and it's our, third of these together where we hang out in parking lots in Los Angeles once a year. And in recent years, now that we've built such an incredibly elegant machine of loving human beings, I'm kind of in charge of skunkworks projects that nobody understands or wants to do. So would you say that's accurate, Rick?
I think that's fair.
I'm in charge of spending money that, Rick makes.
So, Rick, what do you do with Devolver?
I try to manage the money
Yeah?
and keep everybody in line and in check.
Yeah.
I have to play the dad role too much.
And you used to launder the money through a bird shop? You used to launder all of Devolver's money through...
I have no recollection
That's right.
of laundering anything.
And even if that were true, it was actually the other way around. He was making so much money on birdseed
That's right.
that we had to lose some on skunkworks projects.
That's right.
I also was helping him out with that in the bird store. Yeah. The black light feeders. You remember those?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we had a little rave feeder going on, a rave cage for... I just figured there's some percentage of wild birds that were going to enjoy that.
Nice. Just like bobbing their head.
Yeah, didn't really. It wasn't a big seller.
No.
But good. Losses are important in a business.
Yeah?
Yep.
What is the most important loss in these 10 years of Devolver Digital that we've experienced?
The most important
The
loss.
most like enriching for us, like the one where we've been like, oof, we learned a lot today.
What do you think, Rick?
No, maybe one that we somehow got away from not losing anything.
Can you remind me of what that project that probably never existed is?
Maybe Mushroom Men.
Oh.
Am I
Oh, damn. Oh, damn. Yeah. There was an IP that we liked a whole lot from our Gamecock days. We were in a company called Gamecock together in between a company called God and then this one. And one of our favorite IPs that we worked on there was called Mushroom Men. You can look it up. It came out on the Wii, and there was a DS version. But it was a really beautiful game. The art was,
it was.
Maybe some of the coolest art we've ever been involved with in any game. And you played as a tiny sentient mushroom in a world full of sentient mushrooms. And you were playing from the perspective of being 3 inches tall.
Les Claypool did a lot of the sound.
That's right.
Music,
Les Claypool did 4 original tracks for it, some of which became commercial hits for him. He owes us money for that.
Yeah, I'll bill him.
Yeah. And so there was a moment in early Devolver, I think this was pre-Hotline Miami, wasn't it?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, when we were going to reprise that beloved IP. And it ended up being a bad fit, I would say.
Yep.
The developers and us didn't get along at the time. I'm still friends with the guys now.
Good.
But anyway, somebody else wanted to do it, and they ended up giving us their money back. And I don't know if they ever did it or not, but
I don't know.
it was a weird one. Sometimes you go for things out of spirit and nostalgia and love for the art, but there are a few other factors involved.
Yeah.
In actually making a great game that makes money and keeps Rick enriched with the ability to pay the rest of us.
Yeah.
And it taught us not to ever give up. We never give up on anything.
That's right.
Damn.
That's a good one.
Damn.
Rick's our
Rick with the
spiritual guide.
closer.
That's right. Yeah, that was a much better summary. Don't
That
give
was
up.
Beautiful. Don't give up.
Don't give up. Somebody might take this shit off your hands still.
You can dump it on somebody.
Sell. Anyway.
Nice.
Good question. Good lesson.
Yeah, that's
I'm
lovely.
really glad you invited Rick to inspire us in that way.
Yeah, thanks, Rick. Damn, all right.
Hey, kids out there, never give up.
Never give up.
Never give up.
What's been the biggest surprise hit? So the other end of the spectrum, surprise hit that just, I mean, I guess Hotline would be well, no, I don't know. What's the biggest surprise hit where you were just like, huh, really? Wow. All right, that's great. Like maybe something you loved that you didn't necessarily think the world would be ready for, or...
I'm not sure.
I mean, certainly Scum, nobody, that game, I was at Burning Man when that game came out, and I had not been online for 4 or 5 days, and I checked my email, and all it was a bunch of, holy shit!
Yeah,
Because that game outsold everything we had ever done lifetime in a few days.
Wow.
Yeah. And, you know, we knew the game had potential.
right.
Right? We knew that people love those types of games.
Yeah.
Freaks. And, but, you know, we knew people were excited to monitor your intakes and be able to poo-poo in a game and stuff. But, man, that game just...
Yeah, I think for me it was Talos Principle.
Oh,
How
yeah.
it did it,
Yeah.
especially the timing of when it launched. It was like, is this the best time? Should we wait? And
Yeah. And that one was, you know, a surprise for us.
yeah, we didn't. It was not supposed. We were waiting for a build on Series Sam 4. So
That's right. We're still waiting, actually, for that build
Exactly.
of Series Sam 4. But our brothers in Crow Team decided to do something completely different. And, you know, a bunch of guys that were famous for games where you ran backwards and shot everything, including, you know, headless people with bombs and mouths in their chests and things like that, decided to show that they were pretty fucking smart in other ways too.
Yeah.
And didn't really ask us or pitch us that game. They just said, hey, here's this thing we did instead of Serious Sam. And we were like, okay, it looks cool. It looks cool, but that game, you know, you really couldn't tell how great it was going to be until the story was delivered. Because that game is all about that beautiful story. And then the writer's name escapes me right now.
Starts with a J?
Tom of the J.
Tom of the J. I don't remember. Tom
Anyway.
J.
Anyway, and I
Jubert.
remember Crow Team showing up on the lot that next year with they were just 10 feet tall. I mean, they were already 9 feet tall.
Yeah.
So it wasn't that weird, but it was pretty cool. Pretty cool just to show that much range, you know, and that beautiful tech. And then they went and made that tech work on literally every device known to man.
Yeah.
You can play Talos on an iPhone 5. Maybe it's a 6. But either way.
Yeah.
Yeah, those guys are just show-offs, really.
They're really, really good.
Really good show-offs.
They're like those people that you're like, okay, yeah, and you can do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, your engine can do that. Your engine that you made yourself for every platform on the planet.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Good job, Alan. Good job,
I saw
guys.
a question from the Tulsinator. I guess this is more for Mike. It was about Austin High and your experience making that. And if you have any desire to make another movie in the future, or is that like a...
Yeah, no, maybe one day. You know, you don't need to do everything all the time. But I did, you know, I did a lot of acting as a young man in theater, and I still enjoy it. And to me, it's really important. Like, I've been lucky enough to have a career which has been about enabling other artists to make their art.
Yeah.
But I think it's important every now and then to put yourself on the other side of that, you know, and remember what it's like to be, you know, like in the games industry, I've been on the other side of the table all along with people pitching us. And here I was with this little movie, you know, made for like $100,000, you know, with a bunch of freshly graduated UT film students. And James Michael Speck, that's where we met. Did you know that? Spoiler alert, James in that movie. But, you know, I had a similar experience with my Burning Man doc I had done a while back. There I was, this guy at Sundance that didn't know anybody, no connections in the industry, out trying, you know, with my little thing, out trying to get a meeting, just like people are doing here at GDC. And that was also a 40th birthday present to myself.
Aww.
You know, it's like, I'm going to go do a fun thing. And, I don't know that I need to do Boston High but, yeah, I don't know. If life presents such an opportunity again, man, we ended up making so many wonderful friends that are just like blood brothers and sisters from that 20 days of shooting in 105-degree heat. And so yeah, that's what movies are to me. It's it's indie movies anyway. It's going through hell with your buddies and making something at the end of it that really bonds you in a way that hanging out at a cocktail party for 10 years won't do, you know. So anyway, that was Austin High. You can still, I don't know if you can still get it on Steam. I think Steam took away all the movies that weren't related to a game.
Oh, yeah? Yeah, I was wondering what happened to that. I think it's on, what's it on now? It's on the Amazon or something?
Yeah, it's on Amazon and iTunes, and I'm sure, 1,000 pirate sites. So feel free to pirate it.
So how did you guys meet and start working together? Rick, how did you get into video games? How did this whole thing?
We were neighbors. That's how we met.
No shit?
Yep. And then we had a common interest in, I guess, athletics.
Mm-hmm.
And I started playing flag football with Mike. So.
He left out a funny part of that story, though. We were neighbors in a neighborhood where nobody spoke to each other. It was one of those new suburban deals where everybody had the same little stick tree in their front yard. And my backyard was made of dirt. And like I think that's the way they came.
Yep.
You can upgrade to a backyard grass or whatever. And anyway, it was one of those neighborhoods where everybody just politely nodded at their neighbor wheeling in out their trash or whatever. And we had kids, and I was like, we need to. It was my first house actually that I owned, and I was like, we want to have neighbors. Like we want to know. We want to know you. No, this was in Rowlett, Texas.
Oh, okay. Yep. Okay.
Yeah, near Dallas. And so I decided to have a front yard party because a backyard party full of people you don't know is too committal for all involved.
Yeah.
People don't even want to go in your house because then they're trapped.
Yeah.
But we went and put flyers on everybody's door and said, hey, we're going to cook out in the front yard if you just want to stop by for a minute.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, and we met a lot of our neighbors that day, and people brought food, and I remember this Indian woman brought, what are those things? Yeah, what are those called?
Dolmas?
Yeah, dolmas.
Yeah.
And, it was really sweet, and that's the day I met Rick Stults. And I was like, what do you do? He's like, I work in finance and, sort of accounting in the healthcare industry, and I have to wear a tie, and I want to kill myself every day. And I was like, well, I'm about to start a game company, I think, and I need somebody that's a spreadsheet jockey because I am definitely not.
Yep.
He was like, I can do that.
That's how it began.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And so Rick did, like everybody involved, did a bunch of work for free before we had any money, and we somehow manifested the thing that became Gathering of Developers.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It's a long time ago.
It was a long time ago.
I think the one thing I want to also talk about, or have you guys talk about really, is just sort of the ethos of Devolver. Just I know we very publicly have like the bad boy image. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But behind that, there's like really important ethics
That's right.
that allow us to like play that game of being like, "Ah," but at the core, it's about people and taking care of people, right?
That's right.
Sure.
I mean, honestly, that was the opportunity in the industry. Like, it's not just to do good, but that happened to be the thing that no other publisher was doing, is to be nice to the artists and treat them with respect and let them own their IP. And, these things sound ridiculous now because most developers, I think, get to own their IP and get branded on the boxes or what used to be boxes. And but back then it was not that way at all. Like you almost couldn't find who the name of the developer was of your favorite games. Like it was hidden in the fine print on the back of the box. It was just the publisher being promoted. And I was lucky enough to start off doing business and marketing with id Software, and they were one of the first independent developers to fight that fight and say, no, we're actually the talent. We actually made this shit. And we would like to be on the front of the box. And, it wasn't, to me, it was kind of obvious. It's like nobody has a favorite, like, film distributor or really even, I used to say record label, but that's kind of not true. There's some record labels that stand out, but most people are not.
But they usually have the artist on there and then, like, the labels.
Yeah, the only way the publisher is cool is by what artists are on their roster, right? Nobody's like, man, I just love the shit out of Random House books, like, consistently.
Yeah.
And so it was both, just an opportunity. It was an opportunity this is really, really rare in business. It was like the opportunity was to be kind and to be respectful. And it worked. We were able to round up a bunch of very successful developers that had been shat upon by their big publishers back in the day. And we just said, hey, if we raise a bunch of money and band you guys together, we would have a pretty great label, wouldn't we? And they were like, yeah, if you can raise the money, we'll do that. So we had 6 months to raise $5 million.
Holy moly.
I don't think any of us had ever raised any money for anything other than like a, school book sale or something.
Baseball tournament.
Baseball tournament. And we did it. And in doing that, we came face to face with the Heart of Darkness. That's where we got our money from.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sorry, Rick. Right.
Yeah, the devil. I shouldn't say that because he passed away this year, but the homage to the first Heart of Darkness we dealt with in the industry is he's the guy in Broforce in the suit.
Oh yeah.
And it's okay. It's okay because when Ryan was still alive, I shouldn't disparage anyone, but I called him Satan when he was still alive, so it's okay to do it again.
Yeah. All right. That's fair.
Anyway, so throughout our career, that has just been the theme. Is that part hasn't changed at all.
No, that's what I like the best about where we are today is that we're doing nothing different than we've ever done in terms of how we try to treat anybody we want to work with and come up with fair deals for everybody. And hey, everyone can be successful and live another day, and that's awesome. I think that we never change from that perspective.
That's right. Yeah, and we're not like we really chart our success on how many artists we've helped become financially independent.
Yeah.
Like when our games are a hit, it is life changing for these guys. Like forever, their lives are changed and they can make whatever they want. And
Free Lives, for example.
That's right. Or Denaton or any of these small teams that, there's a lot of them. Like I counted new millionaires from Devolver one day when I was bored, and it was a lot of them. And they weren't really us, which is great. It was, anyway, that's very satisfying. And we have a great business. Everybody's doing well. Everybody's paid fairly. And we have a great time together. And it's just not necessary. It's not necessary to be a slime ball or for business to be about who can fuck the other person faster and harder.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound that bad. Yeah.
In a bad way.
But unfortunately, that's what a lot of business is, and that term shrewd businessman just means,
Dirty
excellent sociopath,
Yep.
and that's not who we are. So.
Yeah, thank God.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any questions for each other? Is there anything you wonder about Rick, or you want to ask Mike?
No, Rick wonders a lot of things.
Rick, do you have a question for Mike?
Rick may have stopped wondering.
I gave up a long time ago.
I have a question for you, Rick.
Okay.
We got Rick to hire somebody to help him
Yes.
after 20 years of
20
begging.
years, that's right.
This year. How does that feel, Rick?
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Letting go, giving away a little bit of, the making the pie, letting somebody else mix the dough a little bit can kind of be a good thing.
Yeah?
Yeah. Are you still writing paper royalty checks?
No, I still handwrite checks though.
Yes, but not
not royalty checks.
Not royalty checks.
Well, I take that back.
Because that would feel good.
I actually write Gleek.
What?
Check for Cosmic DJ every once in a while.
Oh yeah, Cosmic DJ.
They're in Austin, so I write them a check instead of wiring it.
Yeah. Anyway, well, it was a big moment for all of us when you hired some help. He doesn't trust anyone is the thing.
I don't.
Fair?
I don't trust anyone.
Yeah, so he hired his sister.
I did, yeah.
I guess he trusts his sister.
Fair enough. All right.
Yeah.
Got to find somebody Rick will trust. Oh, that's awesome.
I had a question for you, JM.
Okay.
What is it that keeps you doing this, Devolvering, personally?
You guys? Like the people? Like being able to hang out and it's really wonderful. It's a really wonderful opportunity to just meet people who are working artists and who are excitedly playing with boundaries of like what art can be. And I also really like, for me, this job, like events. Like events is what I still love. I'm still a roadie. Like it's still my favorite job.
You like carrying the cases and unpacking them and
plugging
looking
all the
for the
shit
gaffing tape.
in.
Yeah,
I love like I got to decorate the museum and help set up the screen and help set up the streaming. And it's like sometimes I'll be doing some random thing, coiling a cable, or like I'm like my job is just a wonderful series of mini games.
Yeah.
And I never know like what next game I'm gonna get to do.
Yeah.
And it's yeah.
Yeah, I just saw Anna back there, who's one of our 2 producers in the company. I guess we have 3 now, technically, but she's an extremely hardworking badass of a Polish lady that helps make all of our games pretty consistently solid when they come out. And she was back there looking for scissors to cut some Mylar gold streamers for a little arcade back there.
Oh, her and Andrew, polish that up. It's gorgeous.
And that's kind of Devolver in a nutshell. It's like Kate said it well in an interview recently that everyone here will also take out the trash.
Yeah.
There's nobody that's not part of, doing all the stuff, and I think that's what keeps it real, keeps it honest.
Yeah.
I'm glad you found us.
Oh, me too. Yeah. Don't make me cry. That like Austin High, like holy shit. Yeah. And then random Facebook post from Mike. Anybody want to work at South by Southwest? Shit, I just quit my job at that shitty bar. Maybe I'll do it. Okay.
Yeah. I think Rick and I have always enjoyed giving people work.
It's good. It feels good. That's our time, guys. You don't have to be here anymore. I know this has been grueling and awful every damn second of it.
No, I wouldn't say that.
Good.
We're wrapping up.
We're wrapping up. Thank you for watching. Sorry we didn't do more questions from chat, but thanks for listening to these guys. Mike, Rick, thank you for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Pleasure.
Thanks, guys.
Let's do professional.
Yep. I just saw a question. My favorite video game is Broforce. Unequivocally.
Oh, Devolver game?
Favorite game?
No, you just said favorite video games.
I go old school and love playing as Gabe Logan in Siphon Filter 1 and 2.
No shit.
Favorite video games ever.
That's amazing. I would never have guessed that.
Yeah.
Nice.
See?
Yeah.
It was a good question.
It was a good question. I'm sorry.
You're
strange
touch. It was your strange touch that asked us that.
Your strange touch.
Yeah.
It was dang. All right. I don't play
I
video
agree,
games.
Broforce, see?
Damn. There it is.
It's the truth. It's the most pure fun game I've ever experienced. And I got to play through it all the way with my son. It was his first game to finish, so that was it'll always be right there.
It's such a good one.
All right.
Yeah.
We're wrapped. We're
Goodbye,
out.
everybody. We'll be back more. Claire's. Oh, did you turn off the thing?
I think you did.
I think you did. Oh, it's still on? All right, guys. Claire's going to be back with some crazy streamers doing shenanigans. Hugs and kisses. Bye.